So good afternoon, no? So good afternoon, Nadira. So kumusta ka na?
Okey
Ah,
naman, mabuti naman. Ayos naman.
welcome dito sa ating meron kaming klase na I'm teaching peace communication, no?
Mhm.
Sa mga PUP broadcast communication students. So
Okey.
yung mga manonood nito, mga fourth year students na, so graduate na sila, no? So
Hmm,
elective nila to actually. So I'm teaching them
okey.
yun nga, yung peace communication, bakit siya importante, ano yung mga
Mhm.
technique, no? Tapos kino-contextualize siyempre. So
Okey,
dito sa ating mahal na Pilipinas, isang malaking usapin yung yung peace in Mindanao, di ba? Yung I'm sure very familiar ka diyan, no? So konting introduction muna. So sino ba si Nadira Abubakar?
okay. So sige, I'm Nadira Abubakar. I'm 35 years old. Um, I am Tausug, so one of the many Muslim Filipino groups in the country. My parents are originally from Sulu, but I was born already in Manila.
Mhm.
And then I studied here. I sometimes go back home to Sulu or Zamboanga, where most of my relatives are.
Mhm.
But it's not often. One, because dahil magulo nga sa Mindanao and security issue even for my parents.
Mhm.
So dito na ako lumaki, dito na ako nagtrabaho. Um, Peace is still an issue, probably not as much compared to previous decades,
Mhm.
pero nandiyan pa rin siya.
Mhm.
Nandiyan pa rin yung mga lumang tingin ng mga tao.
Mhm.
Pero hindi na rin tulad ng dati. Pero nandiyan pa rin, nananaig pa rin sila. Hindi pa rin sila talagang nawawala.
Mhm.
Um, pero malayo na, pero malayo pa rin.
Oo nga, no?
Yun
Oo.
yun. Yun.
Ah,
Yun ang realidad na nakikita ko.
ah. Yun, so konting kwento lang, no? Si Nadira and me traveled to India last year, no? For Bayer, no? So yung Bayer, yung chemical company from Germany,
German.
no? So Bayer Nadira is corporate,
I'm the
communications.
communications manager for Bayer Philippines.
Yes, kaya nga. So, pag kailangan nyo ng ng advice on on anything about yung mga products ng buyer, yan si Nadira ang kontakin nyo, no? Anyway, dito sa atin, nabanggit mo kanina maraming mga parang lumang kaisipan, no, tungkol sa Muslim sa Pilipinas. So, pwede mo mong ipaliwanag 'yon? Ano 'yon? Ano yung mga typical na kaisipan na 'yon na dapat lang
Unang-una,
baguhin?
one would be, madalas nyo makita tulad sa media, sa mga kwento-kwento, kahit na sa mga tabing kalye, maririnig mo to, violent yung mga Muslim na either mamamatay tao, terorista, walang rights ang mga kababaihan,
Mhm.
na yung mga pag sa mga lumang generation, yung mga nag-aamok, naguhuramentado,
Mhm.
yan, yung mga ganyang kwento. O
Mhm.
kaya ngayon, in the past few decades, nauso yung mga DVD o yung mga nagbebenta ng DVD.
Mhm.
Minsan it has spilled na rin sa pagiging business-minded, yung mga nagbebenta ng DVD, o kaya taga-repair ng cellphone, yung mga ganyan. Which is, yes, karamihan ng makikita mo na nag-repair ng mga cellphone ay from the Maranao, which are also Muslims in the Philippines. Pero hindi naman kami lahat ganon. Pero ang pinaka madalas mong makikita is yung idea ng Muslim na parang negative, violente,
Mhm.
hindi kami rational minded, na parang lagi kaming highly emotional,
Mhm.
na parang hindi kami logical mag-isip, yung parang almost na dating.
Mhm.
Madalas makita nyo rin to sa mga lumang pelikula.
Mhm.
Minsan may mga teleserye na rin pelikula na nag-iiba na rin ng ganyang dating, pero makikita mo it still starts there to some degree. Yung nga
Mhm.
sabi ko kanina, malayo na pero malayo pa rin.
Mhm.
I've seen it firsthand growing up. Like may mga naalala ko nag-NSTP kami sa UP. So I'm a graduate of UP.
Mhm.
And then we did community service. So part ng community service namin was to help a city do their research.
Mhm.
And then we went to one barangay in that city, Quezon City to. And then one of the staff, parang nag-joke siya about being in me being Muslim, na parang wag ko daw saktan or something. And then sometimes there's also that growing up, yung parang pag narinig nila ng Muslim na parang ay ano, yung gagalitin yan, ganyan. As if naman we don't know any other emotion, no? Na magagalit kami kagad or we would be shocked first bago magalit, di ba? And things like that. There are also misconceptions na parang pag Muslim, terorista. I have a very close best friend. She's been my best friend since we were 5 years old. Na she changed schools. So napunta siya sa isang very prestigious Montessori. And she called me out of the blue. So I was left behind sa first school namin. She called me out of the blue. She said, she was crying. And then she said, my classmates called you a terrorist. And this was the time na 9/11. So yung pagtama ng plane sa World Trade Center. So ayun na naman, naungkat na naman yung mga Muslim pagiging terorista. She told me, why are they calling you a terrorist? And I explained to her, I had explained to her that, as a Muslim, we have this baggage that we live with that we don't really want to have, but it's there, and you're my best friend. I think you see what it's like, because sa first school namin, parang we were pretty much like everyone. I had other Muslims, we were mixed group. But she went to a Montessori that was mostly just one religious group. And she was shocked na ganun yung sinasabi nung classmates niya about me, because we had a photo in her locker and she was telling people, oh, that's my best friend, she's Muslim. And the first reaction she got was, your best friend's Muslim. Naiyak siya. Actually, inaway niya yung person na yun. I think nahampas ata niya sa locker. But she was crying because she said she doesn't understand bakit ganun yung tingin sa akin. They haven't even met me. And she's known me since we were 5 years old. Hanggang ngayon, we're still friends. We're still very close friends up to now. So, even other people who are close to me still see it. If to this day, the recent would be, I had a friend tell me she has her in-laws who come from a northern part of Mindanao. She was shocked at how negative yung outlook nila sa mga Muslim, na ang mga Muslim mamamatay tao, mainitin ang ulo, parang dapat wala na lang sila sa Mindanao, ganyan. Yung mga ganong klaseng state sentiments. So, na-shock siya. Because, well, we were both batchmates in UP. She married this guy who had in-laws who were from northern Mindanao. And she was thinking maybe they might be more open. But surprise, she did not see that from them. It was the opposite. So, nandiyan pa rin siya. In the workplace, may kita ko rin siya. Not exactly in my current workplace, but other people would come up to me and like ask me, and you would see this in the way they would post their questions. Nadi, wag kang magalit pero may gusto lang akong itanong. So they assume immediately that I would get mad if I get a question about Islam. So you see, nandun yung, the way they question it, they give you the wording pa lang, makikita nyo na parang, nandun yung image pa rin na pag tinanong about my faith or whatever, na magagalit ako, na I wouldn't be angry, I'd be happy to explain. Sabi ko sa kanila, then don't worry, hindi ako magagalit. I'm happy na nagtatanong kayo kaysa sa yung hindi kayo magtanong. At least matututo rin kayo tungkol sa amin, sa akin. At matututo rin naman ako tungkol sa inyo. Mas gusto ko yung ganon kaysa sa yung you suddenly make assumptions about us or me as a group or as a person. Tapos, pero kita nyo pa lang so wording pa lang it's so common, the way they say, tawag ka magagalit, ganyan. So you see the assumption is there. It's built into how they will ask me sometimes. Sometimes I do wear the hijab on occasion. Sometimes when I put on the hijab in the bathroom, so I fix it in the bathroom, other girls would come up to me and that's when they ask questions about the hijab, women's rights in Islam. Kailangan ba talaga? Things like that. Hindi ka ba nahihirapan? Pinilit ka ba na magganyan? Yung mga kasing ganong tanong. So, napaka-prevalent pa rin niya. I'm happy that people feel more open to ask questions. Social media has helped to a degree. It has also helped spread the negative parts, but at the same time, it's become an avenue as well for people to see the other sides of us. Like, hindi naman kami lahat ganon. Tao lang din kami. And we're happy. Like, even SOCMED, you see, people talk about yung pastil ng Maguindanao, nauuso siya, yung mga ganong bagay. So, it has helped, but it's still there. I think it will take generations siguro before we get rid of it to some degree.
I hope in our lifetime, no, na makita natin na ano, na meron ng talagang kumpletong acceptance and recognition siguro ng ano ng kasi definitely the Muslim people ano naman eh, 'di ba? Original nga kayo dito, kayo yung OG, 'di ba? So, 'di ba? Pag tingnan mo yung history, 'di ba? Bago pa
Yeah.
dumating si Magellan, nandito na yung mga Muslim, 'di ba?
Yeah,
So,
there's a Sulu Sultanate. So the Sultanate of Sulu has been there for so long. So parang it's the first political group in the in
uh,
this geography before
kwento
the
mo nga yun.
Philippines even conceived.
Oo. Kasi 'di ba yung yung late dad ni Nadira was a professor in UP, no? UP Muslim Studies o Islamic Studies ba
Yes,
tama?
Asian Center po. Tapos one of
Oo.
his specializations was history of the Muslims in the Philippines.
Yun. So kwento mo nga sa amin kung paano kwento naman
Parang
in
I
very short
cannot do
terms.
justice
Oo.
right now.
In very short terms yung ano yung ano nga ba ang hindi alam ng mga karaniwang Pilipino na
And
'di
I
ba
think
pagdating sa history ng Muslim.
people don't easily realize that the Muslims have been organized in a political sense
Mhm.
more than before even the term being Filipino came around. For us, like the Tausug, for us, I grew up, my dad would tell me, make me read history books about the history of us Tausug, of the Sulu Sultanate. You see it also in the provinces. When I go home, malakas yung sense of identity namin as Tausug, very strong. We know that we have been bonded together, as group, the Tausug. We have our own sense of government. Nandiyan yung Sultanate. Although medyo magulo yung genealogy ngayon, but it's there. We still recognize it. Nandun yung sense of identity namin and culture na malakas. I would say, kasi nandun, we know that we have been trading with foreign groups even before, the Spanish came. Nandyan we traded with the Arabs, and that's how Islam entered the Philippines in the south through trade with the Arabs. Um, and since then, we've even been recognized by the Chinese Empire. There was a Sultan of Sulu who went to China. He died there. He was recognized there. You can see it's in the history books. If you go to China, if you search it on Google, you'll find it. There's a grave of the Sulu Sultan in China. We've traded with Indians, with nearby empires. It's recognized. Before pa nagkaroon ng konsepto ng Pilipinas, may sulusultanate na. And that also, regardless, I've not forgotten this. Parang we carry it with us. I'm born in Manila. I don't even have the Tausug. I can speak only very little Tausug, but my sense of that is very strong. I think in part because my dad was very history major din siya, was very adamant that we know where we come from. We know where our roots are from, saan kami nanggaling, all our ancestors, how we got to Manila at the same time was also because of war. That's why he stayed in Manila, then raised his kids here, and then subsequent issues in Mindanao. Hindi na kami nakabalik, so dito na ako lumaki. Uh, it's it's something na even those who are not Tausug, say Maranao, Maguindanao, Yakan, they are also aware. The Maranao and the Maguindanao also have their own groups. The Maguindanao as well, they have their own sultanates. They have their own forms of political government. Even before, this whole concept of being Filipino came about. That's why may kita ninyo when the MNLF came about, before the MILF, it was about a sense of identity that was even there already, even before being Filipino was a thing. Na it was clear to us, especially among the Tausug, it's very, very strong, na parang, why should we, join that? Na we have always had this identity of ours. Has years and centuries, 'di ba? Na parang for us joining it because it's a product of the colonial process, right? This entity, this Philippine entity, when we have always had our own. Alam niyo 'yon. It's very strong there. It's still there, and that pride of the Tausug for that heritage is still very, very strong, even among, my age or younger. I see it in my cousins. I see it in, say, Tausug vloggers, social media accounts, how people would, even the Tausug in the diaspora or abroad, would bring some of that identity to with them sa abroad. It's very, very strong, I would say. We
Mm.
we know that, parang ang ano pa nga namin is, sabi nga, we are Muslim first before Filipino.
Mm.
Sinasabi nga nila, diba? That's why they use the term Muslim Filipino instead of Filipino Muslim.
Okay. Yun. Ang ganda nun, no? Talagang kailangan maintindihan kung saan ang galing, eh, di ba? Kung saan kayo, ano, kung saan, kumbaga, ah, kasi minsan nagiging parang, ano ba tawag doon? Superiority, ano na, yung, di ba, yung dahil mas maraming hindi Muslim, so akala nila, yun yung tama, di ba? So parang, nagiging, yun na yung perception ng lahat na, di ba? Tapos anong pakiramdam mo ngayon being, 'di ba, ano ka, you're a woman, you're a young person, no? Tapos you're growing up ngayon nandito ka sa city, 'di ba, you grew up in the city. Tapos na-expose ka na ngayon sa abroad, no, sa mga biyahe, sa mga multicultural. Anong tingin mo globally, ano ng Islam and Muslim people, ano ang pagbabago in the recent years that you've seen?
I think one is, well, my current company, for example, Bayer, I
Mm.
have to give it to them. I realized when I stepped into this role as corporate comms manager, so that's a country level role. When I was growing up, I don't see that. I don't see. I've seen politicians, Muslim politicians, mostly male, rarely female, but not in the private sector, much less a large multinational pharmaceutical and agri company. I realized when I stepped into the role several years ago that, you know, this is what I did is rare. And I am also happy that Bayer is open to that, and that they gave a chance on someone very young, Muslim, wearing a hijab, to be the corporate comms face for their company in a largely Catholic country, knowing that how people would sometimes look at Muslims in the country. So I would say sometimes I feel that it's not to these local companies, but I feel that multinationals have a step ahead on this
Mm.
one. One, I think because they're multinationals, they're likely to also have other Muslims in the ranks, other from other countries in the ranks, and that they are more open, I guess, to say DI
Mm.
than, I guess, others. It Because it's part, you're multinational, you really have to be open to DEI if you're gonna make this work, right? If you're gonna make your business work across multiple countries, multiple cultures. I realized that I have friends who told me when I also wrote my book that, she told me once, I want you to meet like the daughter of my boss. She has a daughter. And I realized na parang you would be a nice role model for her because she's a young Muslim girl, and you're a Muslim woman who is in a corporate leading role. And she says, sabi niya, gusto ko ma-meet mo siya. And that's when it sank really into me na it's not common to see, especially private sector, you know, yeah, Muslim faces like mine, in the C-suite, so to speak, for lack of better, it's, I think we're getting there. In government, you will see this, obviously, in political arenas, government positions, but it's not common. In the private sector, maybe you would see foreigners, but not a Muslim Filipino in, say, the corporate setting. It's not always like, yes, you might see a token hijab wearing person in, say, the stock photo of a company ad, but to
Mm.
live it out the way that I see Bayer has done with me and with other Muslims in our office, where we also have a prayer room. I'm very happy to see that progress. That we are
Mm,
in some way helping lead the way among other things for
mm,
at least for DEI perspective and really walking the talk.
mm,
And then I think in the past it's not easy for many Muslim Filipinos. I think it's still not easy, especially if you're from a more disadvantaged sector. I know I'm coming from a place of privilege. Kita nyo, di ba? I was born here, raised here. My English is very fluent. And I'm coming from a place of privilege. Pero naiintindihan ko na yung those who don't have as much, did not get the same level of education, parents didn't have, are not college graduates, much less UP professors, right? It's still a struggle for them. I remember yung house help namin, she had a daughter na parang she wasn't selected or like shooed out from an interview because she was wearing a hijab and apparently they weren't open to hiring workers wearing a hijab. And I sometimes hear that, in the Muslim community, there are companies now who, especially local ones who are in retail, who don't want, salespeople wearing the hijab. So it's a struggle.
mm,
Uh, I may not be wearing the hijab regularly as I should, but when I joined Bayer, I was wearing one, and I will still wear one. And I'm happy that they were very much open to me in that form, knowing my background. Pero makikita mo na among the disadvantaged, there's still a struggle there. It's still a
mm,
struggle. Even naman if at this level, parang there's still some notions that I have to kind of battle through, that you kind of have to, remember to position yourself well so that they don't look at you through any of these like negative lenses. Sometimes I feel like it's an advantage. Sometimes I told mukhang foreigner, hindi ka mukhang Pinoy.
mm,
So maybe that has helped. Pero for those who don't really have much of an advantage, especially education, feeling ko there's still a struggle for them there.
mm,
Lalo na sa yung sa retail, naririnig ko ngayon, if naka-hijab ka, you wear the turong, that's the local term, uh, parang that's like a minus already in your application. Ayun nga,
mm,
malayo na pero malayo pa rin.
mm,
There's still a long
mm,
way to go. But I'm happy like when I go to a salon or say any shop and I see someone wearing a turong, it makes me happy. It's the same for when I see it in other offices. When I see someone else wearing a turong or someone comes up to me, they introduce themselves as Muslim. It makes me happy because there's so few of us often in the workplace, especially in private, na kind of, it's nice to see someone also like you in the office. Konti pa lang. Like in Bayer, mostly foreigner din yung mga fellow Muslim, but there's also some Filipino Muslims as well.
Lagi kong sinasabi sa Nadira, sa mga estudyante ko na kasi 'di ba yung greeting niyo na assalamualaikum, 'di ba? It's peace be with
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Oo, so sabi ko Islam is actually a religion of peace,
Yes.
'di ba? So yun yung ironic 'di ba? Kasi parang hindi hindi alam ng tao na gano'n, no? So parang nagiging ba, extreme, no? Imbis na dapat peace. O ano kaya ang
I
pwedeng
think that the reason is that the reason why I think they viewed it that way because we've had to fight kasi for our existence to keep our place, our land, that also very strong on
Mm,
that to maintain our space
mhm,
because other Muslims have been driven out from where they come from.
mhm,
There are now you see generations of say immigrants to Mindanao. They call themselves now Mindanaoan. That's fairly recent, let's be honest. For me, that's
mhm,
fairly recent occurrence. There were maybe 100 years ago, did someone else call themselves Mindanaoans? No.
yeah.
That's recent. That's a generation who moved to Mindanao and grew up there.
Mga Ilocano, no, na nasa Mindanao ngayon, no? Oo.
Among others, there are many. There are many
Oo,
of them. And
right.
sometimes you don't realize that's not their fault.
Mm,
Those kids or those kids of kids who grew up now in Mindanao in that case, because it's not their parents who brought them there. It's not like they wanted to be born there.
mm,
So parang they have to understand that for the Muslims, that place, Sulu, for example, is really our birthplace, my parents' birthplace. My parents have very strong fond memories there. They grew up there. Doon sila pinalaki. My mom is a Tausug Catholic. That's her background.
Mhm.
She was born and raised Catholic, but she has a Muslim side. So when she feels more comfortable in being Muslim, so she went for being a full Muslim even before she married my dad. So parang it's not even that. People see our fight for freedom as terrorism. So one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist.
Mhm.
Um, and it has become largely shaped that way. That people don't understand na we just want to keep our land as, our space.
Mhm.
Na hindi mawala din yung sense of identity namin that is rooted in that place.
Mhm.
Like, you will see, like ngayon, nag-open up na yung parts of Sulu to tourism. There are always reminders for people to be modest, na pag nasa beach, hindi pwede dyan yung mga two-piece, ganyan. Kasi we want to keep the culture. This is how we are in our place. So, pakirespeto siya. We will accept you here, pero respetuhin nyo yung culture namin. It's always been, crafted na in the narratives that our fight is terrorism, or or just murderous. It does
Mhm.
not help na during time ng mga Spaniards, the Tausug version of the Tausug practice of parang sabil, which is like the
Mhm.
Japanese kamikaze, is
Mhm.
actually the inspiration for the word juramentado, or yung nag-amok.
Mhm.
So juramentado is a Spanish word referring to the practice of parang sabil ng
Mhm.
Tausug, which is we defend our land from those who are seeking to take it from us, who are also non-Muslim. So, yun yung naging prevailing story for the non-Muslims, and that's what has stuck. So imagine centuries of this, and then you have media building up on it.
Mhm.
It's there. It's so hard to break through how many
Mhm.
centuries of that. Eh.
Mhm.
So yes.
Yeah. Nadira, tell me about your book.
Okay, so my book, sana pala nilabas ko siya, no? So,
Yeah, may libro si Nadira children's book, no?
so I have a children's book. Um, it's about masjids in the Philippines, published by Adarna.
Mhm.
Um, I wrote it 2022, published it 2022.
Anong
It's
title
one,
nga?
hmm?
Anong title?
Ah, ang masjid sa Pilipinas. So, yun
Okay.
siya. Sometimes, I actually thought I wouldn't be able to write anymore, but I'm happy that it came out. I'll also send the link to Ginep so you guys can order it from Adarna if you want. And then I actually co-wrote it with another friend of mine. He's also from Mindanao, but he's not Muslim. I think he would say he's the perfect kind of example also of those who kids who already grew up, or they were born in Mindanao and they grew up there. So may halong Muslim din siya. So he's also a mixed bag, half Chinese, may Chinese line siya, may Muslim, meron din siyang native, yung mga IP na bloodline. So mixed din. Mindanao is now very much a mixed bag of people. So you cannot really go around saying na parang puro ganito sila or puro ano ganyan. Because even me, my mother has a side from Quezon. So halo-halo talaga. And in that book about the masjids in the Philippines, we talk about where they're located, the history, how it ties also to our past. The first mosques in the country, why they're so important in the entry of Islam in the country, to the more recent ones that are, for example, in Zamboanga, there's a very big mosque that's being built there, or the mosques that were built after the war in Marawi. So it also tackles the history at the same time. While you go on a trip around the Philippines, talking about the mosques that have been built. Even the ones in the city, like Blue Mosque here in Taguig, where I live, San Harlika Village. It talks about that. The Golden Mosque in Quiapo. So we talk about the different masjids or mosques. Mosque is actually the Spanish term that's been absorbed into English, Latinized. But if you ask the Arabic, the legitimate actual term in Arabic that is better to be used than mosque, it will be masjid. Because mosque is actually a derogatory. If you look at the etymology niya, derogatory siya eh. Kasi
Okay.
they parang mosqueteria ba yun or something, referring to like yung ano ng mosquito. Kasi di
Okay.
ba sharp-edged yung
Right, right.
ng ano. So it looks like mosquito daw or something. So they call it a mosque. It's kind of the history is derogatory. So parang it's better to use the term masjid. Even my own boss, sa tagal daw niya sa Singapore, ngayon lang niya na-realize ang tamang term ay masjid after reading my book.
Yan, okay.
So I gave him my book in Singapore. That's when he
Yan.
realized, and he works in Singapore, that all his time in Singapore, doon lang niya nalaman sa libro ko na ang tamang term pala ay masjid.
Masjid. Ngayon mag-aano tayo, mag-Eidil Fitr, di ba? Sa
Yes.
Tuesday. Oo. Ngayon, tell us about Eidil Fitr. Ano ba 'yan? Bakit ba siya holiday? Bakit hindi siya Monday? Di ba kasi di ba sabi nung iba,
Okay,
hindi
okay.
ka lang naging long
Yung
weekend.
Oo, sige. Explain ko. So, in declaration, you have to understand that the Muslim calendar is different. So, the Gregorian calendar is a sun-based calendar.
Hmm.
The Muslim calendar is based on the phases of the moon. So, the start of Ramadan and the end of Ramadan has to go through like the whole cycle of the moon. So, at the start, we wait for the imams. So, these are yung mga priests in Islam, mga Muslim priests, for them to tell us, that nakita na yung sighting ng moon, the first phase of the moon has been sighted or something. And that's when we start Ramadan. That's when we start fasting from sunrise to sunset. No food, no water. But there are also exceptions. For example, if you're menstruating, you're pregnant, you're traveling, or may medical concerns ka, that, you would endanger you or would not really be a not be ideal for you to go fasting kasi matitrigger yung mga medical concerns mo. So, there are also exemptions naman. And then, by the time na you finish, say, the cycle of the moon, that's around 29-30 days, that's when we have Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr is a celebration of the end of the month. It's a whole day event. In other Muslim countries, it's not just one day. It's like several days to a week. And then the reason why then it's like 31 or April 1 is because of the moon sighting. It's not necessary that we follow the moon sighting in Saudi or Mecca, as people like to think. It has to be based on your location or your geography. So sometimes, pag ganito, we call our relatives in Zamboanga, ganyan, na yung mga imam there, have they seen the moon? Or from here, the local mosque. And that's when that's considered nag-end na yung cycle for that for the month of Ramadan. So we can celebrate Eid al-Fitr. Iba kasi yung follow na cycle ng Muslim calendar. It's a moon-based calendar based on the lunar cycle. And compared to the Gregorian, which is a sun-based calendar. So ganun siya. And we really check yung tamang cycle ng moon, yung facing ng moon. Kaya siya it's either 31 or April 1st. But it's not common kasi na nag-exceed ng 30 days ang Ramadan. Kaya siya may ganon. So if you read the declaration again na lumabas, the recommendation of NCMF ang pinagbasehan nila, which was either 31st or April 1. It's very important. It's also time for families to get together. Ito yung, was to make it easy to describe the feeling of Eid al-Fitr. I guess para siyang comparable sa Christmas sa inyo. So kids get special gifts, big family gatherings. Pag umuwi kami ng Zamboanga, talagang sobra-sobra yung pagkain. People go to the mosque, to the masjid together, pray first thing in the morning. And then ikot-ikot na. So, punta sa ibang bahay, kakain. Parang almost the whole day kakain ka lang. Masakit just siya, pero masaya. In other Muslim countries, talagang they go out of the city. So, you'll see in the news, say, may colleagues in Indonesia, parang weekend pa lang pauwi na yan ng probinsya, going from the city to the provinces, the kampung that they call it. Parang hindi pa Eid al-Fitr, pauwi na sila. And then it's traffic na sa mga version nila ng SLEX or NLEX. Kasi pauwi na lahat eh. So ganun level. Parang Holy Week, ganyan. Yung level of traffic even for Muslim countries. Na
Mm.
uuwi, for those who can,
Mm.
ganun siya. Ganun yung energy niya, yung happiness that people have finished the holy month.
Mm.
Ganun siya. So, very
Mm.
special siya for us. So,
Paano ang greetings pag Idul Fitr? How
ganun.
it
Ano
is
lang naman siya, Eid Mubarak
Eid
or
Mubarak.
mm, Eid Mubarak.
Ano ibig sabihin nun?
Parang it's have a great Eid. A great Eid.
Great Eid. Okay.
So it also applies even for Eid al-Adha.
Mm. Okay. Meron ba akong hindi na itanong na gusto mong sagutin or gusto mong explain or gusto mong malaman ng mga students natin na, na something important na
I
about
think
Muslim in the Philippines?
one
Yeah.
one one thing, I guess, coming from also, studying both literature, being a student of literature and also media, and seeing now, if you're going to be reporting on Muslims, I would ask that if you approach us, there is some respect, have curiosity. Um, it would be it would be better if you ask a lot of questions to understand the culture, and also understand that Islam is not always the local culture. I think this is important. Islam is Islam, but there are also local practices that are not necessarily Islamic.
Mm.
Um, there are local practice, and this is not just for the Philippines, even for other countries. Like even for among Muslims, what is Arab culture is not necessarily a Tausug or Southeast Asian Muslim culture. That's
Mm.
different.
Mm.
People tend to lump Muslims as one kind, either you the Arab style, but Southeast Asian Muslims, where I belong to, the Muslims around you belong to, while there are commonalities, ibang Arab style, Arab culture, from the Southeast Asian Muslims. I think you have to also understand, meron din kaming nuances. Hindi kami parang iisang pintura lang. Hindi kami iisang pintura lang. Uh, na na ano na to describe, you have to understand then na a lot of what is happening or has happened is not just because of religion. There are economic factors.
Mm.
The issues in Mindanao, sometimes I realize it's just people want to have a fighting chance in life. They want education for their children, working hospitals, schools, jobs, a fair shot at, a livelihood. Because for us, even halal is not just about food. Understand
Mm.
that the halal concept, for example, is not just about food, it's about livelihood.
Mhm.
Your livelihood should be halal. It should not come from something illegal or haram. Even to that extent. So, people are just want a chance to be treated fairly, have a good shot at having a better outcome for themselves and their families. Naghahalo na din dyan yung mga political and economic interests. So I would ask that you take that effort to understand that complexity. Alam ko hindi siya madaling isulat at iulat, pero I think for us to have a better shot na rin for the next generations and to fix these old misconceptions, we would need that patience. Lalo na ngayon, social media, napakadaling gumawa ng kung ano-ano. Daling gumawa ng kung ano-ano. I think that's something that we need from the next generation as well, of writers, of reporters, people who will be in the media, to understand that na hindi lang kami parang it's so easy, kasi parang it's so easy to get typecast. Na sometimes they ask me, but hindi ka naka-hijab, ganyan-ganyan, or they ask, even my dad gets that question when I was small because I wasn't wearing it when I was small. Parang we're always lumped into one box, like Muslim. This is just like there's a
Mhm.
checklist of what you should be like, na they forget that there's also diversity in the Muslim culture, in being Muslim. There's Arab Muslim, Filipino Muslim, Indonesian Muslim. Halo-halo kami, even Singaporeans. So I would like to have to see that, to also acknowledge where, like, say if you're talking about our food or our culture, where it really comes from, sometimes I see it in when people talk about our food or our textiles. I see this also in businesses, small businesses, na they kind of gloss over the fact that the textile or the food they're talking about comes from a Muslim community, or they rebrand it. They don't, they take out the Muslim heritage of that food or that textile,
Mhm.
and then they market it as something, exotic or vaguely Mindanaoan, but
Mhm.
not giving credit or the original group that birthed that textile or that food.
Mhm.
So something like taking like that. Give give us back our
Mhm.
place in that narrative. Because
Mhm.
minsan nawawala siya. Even in the era of social media, nakikita ko siya eh. Even in
Mhm.
businesses. Nawawala siya.
Mhm.
Natatanggal siya.
Yan. Very well said, Nadira. Maraming maraming salamat, no? For
Mm-mm.
this very enlightening time na binigay mo sa amin. I hope itong ating kapirasong kwentuhan ay kumbaga magkakaroon ng malaking effect, no, sa ating mga estudyante, lalo sa mga future media practitioners. So again, maraming maraming salamat.
Most
Uh, uh,
welcome.
Eid Mubarak, advance Eid Mubarak, no? So thank you pala dun sa padala mong yung itom something, yung
Oo. Yes. I'm very happy
sarap-sarap.
na nagustuhan ninyo.
Oo, grabe, ang dami kong nakain. So, thank you very much. I hope
Most
to see you.
welcome. Sige, inshallah, inshallah. God willing, God willing.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.